There is a question that has been haunting the Final Fantasy XIV community for years. How much time has passed since our Warrior of Light signed up to be an adventurer? The official answer is that it's just been one really bad year of escalating political tensions and the end of the world a couple times over. But come on, how realistic is that number? Well, today I'm going to try and find out how much time passes in Final Fantasy XIV. Hello world, my name is Atticus, and welcome to the 14 Timespan. We begin in Uldad, or Gridania, or Limsa Lominsa, and I could go through one and call it canon, but I'm going to do my due diligence. You likely know already from the thumbnail and title, but today we're looking at starting in Limsa Lominsa. The clock starts when the Warrior of Light becomes an adventurer, and all of the other players pop into existence, so we'll be skipping over the boat right into town. We begin our adventure with the quest Close to Home by wandering around town, our new home. Baderon tasks us with attuning ourselves to the city's Aetheryte, giving us a beacon for teleportation, introducing ourselves to our class guild, and getting to know the marketplace. We level up a bit because one quest isn't quite enough for the second one, and this game is like a real MMO. I run into 3 other people just outside the city walls who are all trying to grind some wharf rats into XP. Having gone outside the walls and returned a little stronger, Baderon remarks that we're still in Limsa and sends us off to Summerford Farms for a trip beyond the walls. The farm is run by reformed pirates and they could use a bit of help, and we're just the kind of helpful adventurer for the job. Stalewern, the farm's owner, wants to make sure our equipment's up to snuff before we get started, or the pirates won't respect us. Our inspection passed, we can begin, and while I expected we might be on pest control duty, our first job is investigating some azure tattooed figures who have been lurking near the farm. There have been some kidnappings around Limsa of late, and the worry is that these might be the kidnappers. We head towards Seasong Grotto to see if we can't find any clues. The grotto's a neat place, we meet a cultured conjurer and are attacked by a rampaging Gaboo, likely unleashed upon the both of us because we are searching for the kidnappers. The Gaboo dispatched, we find a cool rock on the ground and immediately start hallucinating, an even bigger and cooler rock which beseeches us to save the world from encroaching darkness. We awaken on the ground to find the cultured conjurer having just finished her examination of the fallen Gaboo. She found a knife in its back, the likely cause for its rampage, and concludes that a pirate is likely behind the attack considering the style of knife. We return to Stalewern at the farm and he surmises that we're dealing with active pirates trying to revert his farmers to a life of piracy. Putting the grotto behind us, Stalewern's next task for us is to round up some slacking yeomen, 5 of them to be precise. We wander about the farm and they all grumble, but ultimately return to Stalewern, except for Severin, who said he'd return, but then ran off. In fact, he's been pulling some real shady deals, and Stalewern would like us to doubt anything that comes out of his mouth right to his face. So we go find him near a goblin camp with some stolen oranges. His mates, 3 of the other slackers, have been captured by the, quote, double-dealing goblins. He kinda thanks us for saving his friends, and then has us finish his job of delivering oranges. It's not great. Gurkant, a guy standing near Stalewern, has our next quest. He wants us to get some black loam to help the farm. No one thinks to inform us that black loam is just manure. We deliver it and then wash our hands in the blood of some pirates who stole some tools. Feels a bit drastic, but you've got to do what you've got to do. Frowal, who collected the loam and tasked us with the tool retrieval, spied Severin meeting with the pirates in secret and believes he's behind the tool theft and would have us deliver the unfortunate news to Stalewern. He is, as you might expect, not pleased. He states that he's come to expect a great deal from us and we've never let him down, and it does feel like we've been running around this farm for a while, but maybe not enough for that level of trust. We've got to track Severin down. He and a few of his slacker friends have gone missing, and Stalewern's got a bad feeling about it. We ask around for some information and learn that they headed off to Woad Whisper Canyon. We rush to intercept them and find one of the slackers on the way down who informs us that despite inviting them out for a drink, Severin has led them into a trap. We hurry to help the others and find that Severin had a last-minute change of heart. The Azure Tattooed Pirates are beating Severin for failing to provide adequate replacements for his desertion. He's a pretty lost cause, but maybe there's hope for him yet. A mysterious masked man summons a golem to interrupt, and the pirates make their escape while we deal with the big rock. Y'shtola arrives just a bit late, and we have a vision of her time in Limsa. We spy the falling red moon, so most of it's from 5 years ago, but we do get one much more recent vision of right before we met. When we come to, Y'shtola lets us know that the pirates couldn't have been behind the golem. There's something else at play here. And the pirates aren't simple pirates. They're in league with the Sahagin, a tribe of humanoid fish people that have a less than amicable history with the people of Limsa Lominsa. Back at the farm, Severin is finally ready to face consequences and grow as a person. He opens up about his past, a pirate working with the Sahagin, until he saw a way out, leading a less than honest life at Summerford Farms. He decides to turn himself in, and Stilwern promises he'll always have a place at the farm. And with that, we've wrapped up the Summerford storyline, and it's time to return to Baderon, who gives us access to the inn. It definitely feels like it's been a day, but I don't think I can canonically say it has. When we speak to Baderon again, he asks if we're rested, but that could just be a nice afternoon nap. His next quest for us takes us back to Woad Whisper Canyon, where Workit has an emergency for us. A wagon driver witnessed some monstrosity emerge from the million corn ceiling and tossed the cargo and ran, and we've got to finish the delivery. Odd that's happened twice already. At least we get to keep the pay this time. There are a couple of slugs in the bag, but it's no trouble, and we make our way to Swiftperch to wrap up the delivery. While we're in the area, the lighthouse has grown dim, and the local guard would like for us to check it out. Kanswis at the lighthouse informs us of the problem. The bomb that fuels the lighthouse furnace has, quote, buggered off. What? I have so many questions, so many concerns. But the most pressing one is ships without a light, so I guess we have to wrangle a bomb. Fortunately, we only need to bring back its claw. The furnace is in no condition to cage the bomb at the moment, so the claw will have to do until it can get repaired. And since we're headed back that way, we might as well put the order in with the Forge Master. And you know, while the Forge Master has us, we might as well deliver a missive to the Moraby dry docks. We get the missive to Atburm at the dry docks, and he tells us about the ship he's building, and he figures that, you know, while we're here, we could probably help out a bit. Maybe pick up some supplies that are 2 days late. We ask around and learn that the courier and his supplies haven't been seen, but a cargo ship did sink a couple days ago, and if we help search for the survivors, we might find him. He's hiding behind a rock, not that far from the port, but doesn't want to return until he's righted a wrong. He paid a fisher to take him out to the cargo ships 2 days ago, the same one that wrecked that night, and while en route, both the cargo ship and the fishing boat were tossed in the storm, and the cargo he's supposed to deliver strewn across a Chikern-filled beach. Not confident in his ability to fight, he's just been hiding behind this rock for 2 days. Honor makes people do strange things. Having heard his plight, we brave the beach and retrieve the cargo. We return to Atburm, and he suspects that the storm was not natural, but rather conjured by the Sahagin to target the cargo ship. Then Atburm tells us that he doesn't like us, but he has grown to trust us. Thanks, Atburm. On account of that trust, we're to bother some pirates, as some intelligence has come in that there might be an attack soon. We speak to Storm Captain Gimthoda for more details, and she lets us know that she's had her men keep an eye on us ever since we first stepped foot here. This place takes its security very seriously. They found nothing incriminating, so she has no choice but to trust us. For now. How long did that investigation take? Was it just watching us and then we didn't do any crimes? Or did they go and check in with Baderon and Stilwern, do a whole background check? I think there's an argument that we've spent a couple days here. Some members of the guard even know us well enough to bet that we'd get this job. But unfortunately, there's nothing outright that I could find, so canonically we're still on day 1. We chat with the pirates and they leave, but they have plans to get their boy back, so Gimthoda ups the guard patrols. It's not enough for our assistance to not be needed, however, since the next time we speak to her, we learn that the pirates have been on the move and the guard needs our help. We go and speak with the guard who bet on us, who informs us of a shady individual casing the dock. We check it out, and a wild jackal aggroes right as I jump off a very tall cliff, resulting in this unfortunate death. Like the passage of time, it too is not canon. I hadn't picked up the Morbi Aetheryte though, so I had to run all the way back. A very unfortunate series of events. We report the incident to Gimthoda, but as we give our report, a soldier reports that the pirates have launched their attack. While she sees to the soldier's wounds, we fight off the pirates and find this carpenter hiding in plain sight, despite there being a much better spot just a yawn away. As it turns out, the boy that the pirates are trying to get back is Atburm himself. His father is a pirate, and believes his son should follow in the family trade. We help kill some generational trauma, and after the guard have had some time to search the pirates' belongings, deliver a coded missive to Baderon, who likely knows someone who can decode it. And luckily, he does! Baderon himself is our decoder. The missive was written by Sahagin, who were using the pirates' attempt to reunite with his son as a distraction to... was that the twins from the boat ride in? The plan was to blow up the ship that Atburm has been building, a mighty flagship meant to symbolize Limsa Lominsa's recovery after the calamity, a big, important target that would occupy a good chunk of the city-state's military, while they kidnapped a bunch of people near Swiftperch, then conscripted them to the Serpent Reavers, the pirate crew Severum defected from. With the pirates moving early, thanks to us spooking them with our friendly chat, the plan has been thrown into disarray, and we have a moment to get ahead of it. We deliver Baderon's message to Captain Raynor, but as the plan is being made to muster the troops, a report comes in that the attack has started, and it's all hands on deck, including ours. We make it to Swiftperch before the pirates, and they very kindly confirm that they were planning to replenish their ranks with the entire town. We rout the Reavers, even with their summoning Oblonga, and the Yellowjackets give chase, leaving us conveniently alone for the masked mage from the Summerford Saga to summon another, stronger creature to take us out, lest we imperil the plan anymore. Y'shtola appears to aid us, but honestly, really late. Like, I appreciate it, but we did have it covered. The masked mage mentions the Paragons, and Y'shtola informs us that it means Ascians, and that means no good. All the same, we emerge victorious. Swiftperch is saved, and we've gotten a glimpse at who's pulling the strings. We find a twisted and evil rock on the ground, and it explodes beneath our gaze. Raynor sings our praises as we report our victory, and the Admiral of Limsa Lominsa herself drops by to bid us thanks and invites us to the coming banquet, which I think is the least informative any of the leaders have been about when the banquet is, and none of them have been great. The Admiral does mention that Baderon and Raynor have taken turns regaling her with tales of our exploits, and if this was all in one day, I also would probably feel like I had to see this adventure for myself. She tells us not to be late after not telling us exactly when the banquet is, which I'm not going to make any promises. There's at least some time for us to prepare. We speak to Baderon, and he has arranged for us to pick up a new pair of shoes, which isn't nothing. The lady we picked them up from does turn her nose at us. So, as nice as the shoes surely are, I have my doubts about how prepared we are. Everyone does like our new shoes, though. Merlwyb gives a speech about our exploits and the Sahagin, mostly the Sahagin, and the cool rock we found glows, so we show it to Y'shtola and Merlwyb, who decide we're the vessel of a higher power, which does help explain her next decision. Before that, we get a history lesson about the Battle of Cartano 5 years prior. We then get a vision of that battle and pass out. We awaken in our inn room to Baderon explaining that we passed out in the middle of the banquet, and it's no wonder we're exhausted. He calls it a little nap, but Baderon strikes me as someone who makes liberal use of liddy, so I'm willing to call this our first canonical day. A banquet is a very dinner-time activity, and if you're going to sleep that late, might as well be all night. Especially if your day involved rolling into town, whipping some ex-pirates into shape at Summerford Farms, saving them from goblins, and also their own comrades selling them out to active pirates before having very last-minute second thoughts, delivering some corn seeds, delivering a temporary fix for a dimming lighthouse, and setting in motion a more lasting solution, delivering bad news to the guy in charge of the nation's symbol of prosperity, doubting a harbor master for I think no better reason than Atburm doesn't trust anyone, rescuing cargo from some cheeker and bothering some pirates, fighting some more pirates, fighting an Ascian and a demon, and attending a banquet in our lovely new shoes. When we awake, Merlwyb informs us that she'd like for us to serve as an envoy to Gridania and Ul'dah to invite their leaders to a memorial service for the 5-year anniversary of the events at Cartano. We get to make the trip by airship instead of land and sea, which Merlwyb describes as grueling. In strict canon, we are on day 2. In less strict canon, I can honestly see day 3. There's just not been a lot that really feels like time passing, but to keep in line with the rest of the city-states, I'll put us at a week. 2 days at Summerford, a day for Swift Perch, 3 at Morby Dry Docks, and 1 more for Swift Perch and the Banquet. Next time we join up with the Scions, but until then, I'm an Atticus, and thank you for participating.